Mr. Minnick here, helping my Python students with tracing while loops worksheet number 4. The new concept on this worksheet that we haven't seen on earlier worksheets in this series is the concept of a flag variable. A flag variable is a variable that's simply created to mark whether a condition exists or not, whether something's true or false and should continue or it should stop. So this variable that I named done is meant to be sort of like the sentinel value was for inputted numbers into the program on a previous worksheet. So we'll soon see how it works. Okay, let's trace some of these exercises. Score, count, sum are all initialized to 0 over here. That's nice. This special variable called done, I called it a flag variable unofficially. Instead of setting it equal to 0, I set it equal to the Boolean value false with a capital F. This is Python's way of saying false. I don't have a column for it. I probably should have, but we'll just know that done is equal to false. Maybe I'll write it out here, make a little underscore here, and put the word false with a capital F there just to mark that behind the scenes value that's being stored. Okay, the while loop. Here at the top of the while loop we have a control expression, and let's check to see if it's overall true or false. Is done equal to false? We need a double equal symbol. That's the way if statements and while loops need their control expressions to be typed. So is done equal to false? Well, done is currently false, so this is as if there's a false stored there. So I'm really asking, is false equal to false? That is true. Even though the word false is involved, it's true. False is equal to false. So we go through the loop. The user inputs a score, 6. It plugs in here for score. Then we hit this nested if statement. Is score equal to -1? False. So we don't do the code that's in that if section. We do execute the code that's part of the else. That's how an if-else works. If the if part's false, you always do whatever's in the else. So we add 1 to count, and we add score as a running total into the variable sum. We loop at this time back up to the top of the while loop, and we check done equals false. Is done equal to false? That's still true, so we go through the loop again. And this is true, so we go through the loop again. False is equal to false. Score equals input. We're up to this 10 here. 10 gets inputted here for score. Is score equal to -1? That's a false, so we don't do the if. We do the else again. We add 1 to count. We add score into the running total for it's up to 16. We loop back up to the top. The control expression up here is still true. So the next score gets inputted, an 8. The 8 causes 1 to be added to count. The 8 gets added into 16 for a grand total of 24. We loop back up to the top. Is done equal to false? True. So we go through the loop yet again. We iterate again. This time the user, we agree, inputs a -1. So cross out this 8 here and make it a -1. And now let's be careful. The if statement is asking, is score equal to -1? Is -1 equal to -1? True. The sentinel value was typed in by the customer. So because that's true, we do for the first time execute the line of code that's part of the if, the indented code that's right under the word if. In other words, we cross this false out and make it a true. With a capital T, by the way. We do not execute the else clause. That's just the way if-else works. It's one or the other, never both. But we do have to loop back up to the top of the while loop, and we do check its control expression one more time, and we ask, is the variable done? Is the flag up? Meaning truce, I surrender, or SOS, Coast Guard, come save me. Is done equal to false? No, it's not. Because done at this time is equal to the Boolean value true. In the world of logic, these are called Boolean values. And this overall is a false control expression now. True equal false overall is false, which means we don't execute the loop anymore. Done with that. We circle these final values over here, and we proceed with the rest of the Python program that might be outdented below. As long as it's not indented, that means it's not in the loop. Average equals sum divided by count. 24 divided by 3, I can do that in my head. Average is 8. I didn't make a column for it, didn't have room. But you, if you want to be a perfectionist, you can make a little column here for average, the variable average. Store the number 8 there. And now realize that it prints on the screen and you're done with exercise 1.